While we have you, there's some news breaking on the showdown between Harvard and the Trump administration. What's happening there?
Well, that's right. A federal judge in Massachusetts has granted a temporary restraining order in which she has blocked the Trump administration from taking initial steps to block foreign students from studying at the prestigious and world-renowned university. It's very hard to be that world-renowned university if you cannot have foreign students studying there. There's about 7,000 students who are not from the United States who study there. The Trump administration had taken some steps to revoke two kinds of student visas and to block the university from getting access to those kinds of students who come here to study based on that. This judge has maintained the block. The Trump administration cannot enforce anything until Thursday, when there'll be another hearing in front of her. This comes as obviously the standoff and now legal battle between the Ivy League university and the Trump administration now has expanded to two lawsuits. And the other lawsuit over grant funding will take place over the summer. There'll be a trial already set for that later this summer in July.
What is the thinking that either one of these actions could end up in the hands of the U.S. Supreme Court, Jake?
Well, it's very likely, and there are attorneys who were brought on, at least in this suit that we're talking about today, over the student visa revocations, who were acting solicitor generals. One of them is was a former acting solicitor general under the Obama administration. So we know that clearly Harvard is gearing up for people who know how to argue, not just in appellate courts, but potentially in the Supreme Court. And we also know, Reed, a complicating factor of this that obviously is yet to be determined, but there are 4 Supreme Court justices who did go to Harvard who may have to, like our colleague Jan Crawford pointed out earlier this week with the charter school case, that they might have to recuse themselves because of their ties to the university. That would only leave 5 justices able to hear a potentially serious case of nationwide implications about what control the Trump administration can take over these schools that it has taken issue with. Obviously, we know there are other battles in terms of Columbia and a number of other big public institutions that have had their grant money cut, and if they really could set a potentially big precedent in just this case of the Trump administration taking over who is allowed to study and what money goes where at U.S. universities.
It wasn't many months ago that right here on CBS News 24/7 we heard the newly elected president of the United States bemoan the fact that people came in from other nations to our Ivy League schools, to our top tier schools here in the United States, and then went back to their own countries and said he would like to keep this brain trust, this power, within the United States. And now this, and now Harvard. What's the impetus behind this, and how are those earlier statements squared with what we are now seeing in the current zeitgeist?
Well, those earlier statements and really what President Trump and Vice President Vance have said on the campaign trail is that it really echoes that America First mantra, right? Of they want Americans to study at American universities, to stay here, to study here. They want foreigners who, if they do come here, stay here and invest in American businesses or start businesses here. However, really what these universities allow for is for, we know, prestigious students of other high-profile families have come to the United States to come study here. The United States and the Ivy League is really the world class of universities, and it creates the potential precipice of a brain drain, right? Where if the Trump administration can do this and stop foreign students, 7,000 obviously of the world's brightest foreign students who are going to study at Harvard, if they can do that there, they could do that at a Columbia University, which the Trump administration has put its sights on for a number of other issues, or potentially any other university that they see potentially that could step in the way or of the priorities of the Trump administration or has been outspoken against what the Trump administration has done against them in terms of cutting funding for research or other things along those lines.
We are at the point on the calendar where a lot of incoming freshmen are getting those letters saying you can come to Harvard. I'm sure a lot of them are watching whether they will actually be able to come to Harvard. Jake Rosen, thank you so much. We appreciate it.